Singapore is not a concrete jungle. There are over 350 parks and gardens in Singapore. With over 2 million trees planted along the streets, in parks and state lands. You're never too far away from a patch of green. A recent study by Massachusetts Institute of Technology and the World Economic Forum found that almost 30% of our urban areas covered with trees. That is more than cities like Sydney, Australia and Vancouver, Canada. National Parks Board works closely with developers, building owners, professionals and other public agencies such as LTA and HDB to create and protect Singapore's status as a city in a garden. NParks has specified standards, both statutory and technical, to ensure that the green spaces are well protected. One example of these requirements is that the soil in the road verge needs to be at least 2 meters in depth. The top layer of soil needs to be at least 1 meter of approved soil mixture. There should be at least 50 millimeters thick turf of cow grass on the top. There are over 800 species of trees across Singapore. Over the years, NParks has had to adjust the types of trees that are planted. Climate change has meant that there are more frequent and longer dry spells. There is a need to plant trees that are able to withstand longer periods without water. Trees such as yellow flame, Illawarra flame and seashore mampari, for instance, need only 1/3 to half the amount of water compared to other trees that are sensitive to periods of prolonged dry spell. Trees in Singapore are inspected regularly to ensure that they are healthy. Inspections start with first-level visual checks, where NParks arborists look out for things like leaf shedding, cracked branches and slanted trunks in order to determine if further checks are needed on the tree. If internal decay is suspected, a second-level check is conducted using diagnostic tools such as a resistograph to confirm any possible decay.
It's actually a drill that is going into the wood that measures the resistance. There's a graph here that shows the resistance of the wood measured by the drill going through the wood, and this graph can be transferred onto the computer. In this graph, the resistance is pretty constant throughout, so that will ascertain that there's no decay inside the wood and it's safe.
NParks is also testing this tree inspection micro-drone. This lightweight mini quadcopter allows for a quick and effective additional tool for the aerial inspection of the tree crown. This also reduces the time required from a full day to half an hour. NParks has plotted more than 500,000 urban trees and made them all searchable on the online website trees.sg.
Information on our trees, such as locations and key characteristics, can be found on this portal. The public can learn more about the trees around them, as well as the management of our trees. This is an interactive portal. The public can email a tree, electronically hug a tree, or take photos of the trees around them and share around.
This is made possible as all trees managed by NParks are logged into their database called Maven.
Maven is a central platform on which all our geospatial data are based. It allows our NParks staff to update data, manage the data, as well as share with one another and with the public. Our urban trees are geotagged and stored on Maven, along with their inspection records.
Information like the tree's name, height, girth, and location are stored in a database which maps and stores data on Singapore's trees. The Maven application can be used by park officials on their desktop computers or mobile devices. With the app, NParks officers can easily access key biodata such as the last time the tree was inspected. The app also allows officers to update status of the trees on the go. This is Singapore's only publicly owned nursery. It spans about 12 hectares or about the size of 20 football fields. This is where saplings are nurtured and grown before they are planted at their intended locations. On average, these trees spend about 2 years and shrubs about a year in the nursery before they are planted in the real world. Currently, RFID technology is being tested to aid in the counting of inventory. With the use of RFID, the arborists only have to scan the area and they will be able to get information on the plants in that particular area.
Going forward, we'll continue to work with the community to realize our City in a Garden vision. We intend to do this by harnessing technology and adopting a science-based approach. Our digitization master plan seeks to transform the entire landscape industry to be more competitive, productive, and more effective in the use of resources.
It took a lot of planning and work to achieve this vision of a city in a garden. A lot more is still needed to ensure that the greenery continues. Let's not take the widespread greenery for granted and play our part to protect these green spaces and allow them to flourish.